Dummy, yeah.
Are we live, Silent Assassin? Are we live? Are we live? Yes, we are. We are live. Welcome to the All Even Podcast. My name is Barry Green Jr. You can catch me on Instagram and X at All Even Podcast. You can also catch me on TikTok at All Even Media. You can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm all over the place. Go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend because the page is growing. Silent Assassin is here. How you doing?
Yep, pretty good. How are you?
The world is burning.
Yeah.
But I guess we're fine. You know?
We'll see. We're fine, but is everyone else fine?
No. No, there ain't. You know, no, they are not.
Yeah.
But we will try and do this show about sports that don't really matter much in the grand scheme of things. Just to keep us distracted. But lots to get into, maybe not. I don't know. It's a dead period in sports right now. You know, we're waiting for baseball to start. Basketball is football is in their off season and they've done some things, you know. We'll discuss that. Discuss Kyler Murray has a new home. Tua Tagovailoa has a new home. We thought that Maxx Crosby had a new home, and his new home's his old home. There's some Jet stuff that I need to get off my chest. Oh, that's going to be a doozy. Bam Adebayo scores 83 points, second most points in NBA history, and people are not happy about it. Dwight Howard officially retires from the NBA. We'll talk a little Mets. Irrelevant news of the week. And then the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Let's just jump right into it. Let's just do it. Bam Adebayo, power forward for the Miami Heat, goes against the Washington Wizards and scores 83 points. It's the second most points in NBA history. Kobe Bryant was second. He's now third. Kobe Bryant scored 81 points many, many moons ago. Wilt Chamberlain is number one with 100 points in a single game. But a lot of people have called Kobe Bryant's 81 the real record because there's no video footage of Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100 points in a single game. And you have your conspiracy theorists out there, and I'm not going to get into that. You had a dude that was 7'2" in an era where there was nobody bigger than like 6'8" or 6'9". I can believe he can score 100 points in a game. That's not that far-fetched to believe. Anyway, Bam Adebayo hits 83 points. I believe he was 20 of 43, 7 for 20 for 3, and a remarkable 36 of 43 from the free throw line. That's the most free throws ever shot in a single basketball game by one player. And that's where people have the problem. So, you got your Kobe stands out there. Oh, well, Kobe did it the right way. He didn't foul bait and all. And I'm just like, look, you can feel how you want to feel. But the man scored 83 points. He had 30 points after quarter one. He had 67 points, I believe, going into the fourth quarter last night. Or, against the Wizards. And I can understand how people are upset because the Heat were fouling and it looked like they were trying to get extra possessions for Bam. The Wizards were fouling because they literally could not contain him. And I've never seen somebody get so fouled so much in the act of shooting. It was just like, can you stay in front of this? This is not somebody who's like the fastest guy. He's one of the strongest, but he wasn't having a great season. He's only averaging, I think now with the 83 points, he's probably averaging 20 a game. But this is a guy that his career high was 40 points. And you go ahead and you double that in a night. And a lot of people are looking at it like, oh, well, he played the Wizards. And yes, he played one of the worst teams ever. They deserve to move to New Mexico is how bad they are. But again, I don't believe that people should be shitting on this guy because he scored 83 points the way he scored. You got to look at it in context. He went to the line 43 times. He could have hit 25 of those. If he hits 25 of those, he doesn't have the record tonight or today, right? He hit 36 of 43. That's impressive. No matter how he got it, he hit 36 of 43 free throws. And I've heard Carton, I've heard so many people, oh, you know, the NBA, it's a disgrace. I'm just like, really? That's what we're doing? So instead of applauding the accolades of this kid, this young man that achieved such a great feat, we're now going to nitpick about how you get the points now? I thought it was getting the points. I never understood that there was a way that you should score 83 points. What the fuck does it matter? Seriously, what does it matter? If you score 30, if you hit 36 of 43 free throws, man, that's impressive to me. Because I couldn't do it. There's a lot of players that couldn't do it. Even there's great players that shoot 90% from the line, they might not have been able to do it. So again, I ask, what the fuck does it matter how you got it and who you played? The record is the record. Somebody might be better than him that may set the record after. Maybe Tatum, it may be Booker, it may be Wemby. Who the hell knows who it's going to be? But I don't want to be in a situation where somebody achieves such a high level of like ability and does this outer worldly performance and we poo-poo the shit because we're in this negative rage bait society. Everybody's trying to get their 15 fucking minutes. So you got to find the most ridiculous angle to take. Because an angle like I'm taking, salute to Bam, shouts to you, bro, you got the 83, salute. That's not going to get 50,000 impressions. But let me go ahead and go say something negative about the fucking kid. And be negative and do a whole diatribe about how you're supposed to score and make it legit to me. Like I'm this official fucking scorekeeper. Who are you? Have you ever played in the NBA? Have you ever taken score in the NBA? Have you ever even spoken to anybody who's in the NBA? So what do you know what is official and what isn't? I'm tired of all these pundits. I hear people in the comments, oh, you know, they should charge fees for people with mics. Not everybody should have one. And I understand that sentiment when you're so exposed to bullshit. But we really have to get back to a point where we're just honoring a guy that did something spectacular. That's it. Leave it there. All the other negative stuff is just unneeded. It's just not needed. Unwarranted attacks on a guy that doesn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm. It's like still like it's a real in-season NBA game. Like it counts. It's real.
Yeah.
And it's not something that is, like I said, like no matter how he got it, it's not something that is easy to even closely get to. Like Wilt Chamberlain played how many years ago, and then even when did Kobe get the record?
It was 2006, I believe. 2004, something like that.
Like almost 20 years.
Yeah,
like
it's over 20 years.
Record. Yeah. So for you to just like bash on the guy because he got free throws, like, well, okay, that's the other team's fault for allowing them to get those free throws. And even too, like, if the Wizards aren't a good team, they're still a professional NBA team. Like, they're still good.
I question that.
Like they like
they are. I question that they're professionals. But yes, you're right. You're right. 100%.
Yeah. So it counts. So like just for people like going at him, just like it's that jealousy thing. Like who's like the best NBA player? Like that's always going to be a question, and anyone who says something that they don't agree with, they're just going to go at you.
Yeah, because the thing is, the what I believe is the root cause of the vitriol for people is that when you think about the pantheon of great players, right? Michael Jordan scored X amount of points in his career. LeBron James scored 62 points, I believe is his career high. Kobe Bryant scored 81 points, right? There's a pantheon of greatness that I just named to you, right? There's others as well. And then you have Bam Adebayo there.
Yeah. It's like they just can't handle it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like having Barry Bonds have the single season record. You got Mark McGuire, who's supposed to be a Hall of Famer. So there's 2 Hall of Famers there. And then you have Art Bartholomew, right? Journeyman player that hit 71 home runs.
Yeah. It's like, oh, must have been
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because think about it. As impressive as Kyle Riley's season was, he didn't win the MVP. Is anybody ever going to think about Kyle Riley in the same pantheon as great home run hitters as those guys I just mentioned?
Never.
No.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's always going to be that factor in it, is that you don't belong here. That's why I'm mad.
Up with the greats that like
Correct.
did it year in, year out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It has nothing to do with how he got it. Has nothing to do with who he played. It has to do with who he is. They look at Bam Adebayo as a Joe Schmo. If James Harden would have did this, nobody has a problem with it.
But also too, like if you think of like if this random, middle of the pack player did it, how come not everyone else, your superstars, aren't doing it? It's like obviously it's not easy if like your GOAT player is not up there. So it's like
there's a lot of factors, man, because a lot of times when a guy scores that many points, the game is normally out of reach, right? So a guy like LeBron scored 62 points. They took him out in the third. They took him out of the game. He didn't finish the game. Kobe Bryant has scored 60 points in 3 quarters multiple times in his career. He didn't play the 4th quarter. That game against the Toronto Raptors where he actually scored 81, the Lakers were down big in that game. It's a sequence where he literally was just like, give me the effing ball and get out of my way. It's like, if you didn't show up to play tonight, just move and let me do what I gotta do. So he literally had to will that team to win that basketball game by scoring those 81 points. So that's what people hang on to. You have the prestige player, the legendary player, and now you are writing off this legendary historical performance, and how he got it adds to the story. That's the problem, is that it's not about how he got it. It's not about who he played. It's not about what strategies the Miami Heat used to get more possessions in the game. It's about who he is. And I always talk about that. It's like that you don't belong here syndrome affects people viscerally. And that's the problem. So I'm not going to be one of those people. Shouts to Bam. Impressive performance. I I don't know when we'll see this again. It was 20 plus years before we saw this. So who knows if we have to wait another 20 plus years to see it. You know, guys are getting a lot more efficient scoring the basketball. The game is a lot faster. There's more possession. So we may end up seeing this again probably in less than 20 years. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, we'll see if somebody can actually get to that triple digit mark in an NBA game. That would be interesting to see that. To physically see that, that would be insane. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I don't have time for the miserable get off my lawn type of fucking takes. I'm not doing it today, especially not with this. It's a performance that people need to respect, appreciate, give them a salute, and keep pushing. Moving on, Dwight Howard announces his retirement from the NBA. Overall number 1 pick back in 2000, I believe it's 2004. You know, with the Orlando Magic, had great years, got to the NBA Finals, had a little falling out with Orlando. He's a multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year. Career kind of took a turn, and he kept bouncing around from here to here to here. Found his way back to the Lakers after getting traded from Orlando. That didn't work out. He found his way back in 2020 after trying to repair his image. He goes ahead and becomes an NBA champion. Doesn't really stick around the NBA after that too long and goes overseas. You know, there's some alleged personal issues that are going on right now. But as a player, Dwight Howard is one of the most dynamic players we've ever seen in regards to the center position. Still don't understand why he's not top 75 all time. It just doesn't make sense to me. But this is a guy who undoubtedly have left his mark in the NBA. As a defender, as an athletic big that was kind of ahead of his time, right? Like, you know, the model of a big man now is kind of like Dwight Howard's model. Athletic, he can run the rim. Not really a guy that you dump the ball down to try to get a bucket. Dwight did have a little bit of those skills. He did not hone those skills to become a real great offensive player. He relied a lot on his athleticism. And when his athleticism started to wane, I believe ego and a lot of other things were in play as the decline of his career. But nonetheless, man, I mean, Dwight Howard, one of the biggest personalities we've ever seen in the NBA, and salute to him. And I hope that whatever allegedly is going up off the field, off the court, works itself out. But what a great player. What a great player he was. And salute to him. Definitely salute to him. Let's go ahead and just turn gears to the NFL. What was the craziest story that you heard in this offseason so far, Silent Assassin? Was it the Maxx Crosby thing?
Yeah, that was definitely interesting because there's been like rumors for a while that they're trying to, you know, have something happen on that end, and then allegedly, you know, his medicals, you know, weren't clear on the Ravens end, so didn't go through. But for me, I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but
no, don't do it.
That would I say would be the most so shocking part for me. I'll let you get into it when you're ready, but yeah, like a lot of crazy moves have happened. You know, the Chiefs made some interesting moves.
Kenneth
I mean,
Walker.
good for them. Yeah. Who else? Where did Tua go again?
Tua is with the Falcons.
Falcons, yeah. Yep. So a lot of exciting things for the Giants part. So I'm excited about that. And the moves that they made. So a lot to be excited for. And then there's still a lot more, potential to be made, moves to be made. So we'll see.
Right,
what happens.
you guys getting Likely is a good move. I think he's a very good tight end. Baltimore couldn't keep him obviously because you're not gonna pay two tight ends that type of money.
No sense, yeah.
Which I think Likely got the same contract that Andrews got.
Yeah,
He's younger.
Yeah.
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 I believe he should start though, because you guys have Johnson, so Johnson has to be the backup at this point.
Yeah, there was Johnson and Bellinger. We kind of had go back and forth last year. So yeah, 100%. I think he's the starter. And then they have to kind of fill in another wide receiver hole.
Yeah.
Because Robinson had left to go back with Dable. So the Titans got him.
Yeah.
And another Giants player went there. I can't think of who it was.
You guys were in on Kenneth Walker. It's very odd.
Yeah, I saw that. Makes you think of like what, because potentially we already have like two, up and coming running backs. So is there kind of an issue with Scadaboo's ankles?
Or Tracy or whatever it is.
Something's going on, but because they were like in pretty, what I saw, like they're pretty interested. Like So
we'll see what they do now post free agency going into the draft. If they go aggressive to go get a running back, then you know what's up. Somebody's on the chopping block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't think it's gonna be Scadaboo. Might be Tracy. Just today, Kyler Murray signs a 1-year deal with the Vikings, and everybody's like, "Oh, look out for the Vikings! Vikings are gonna be good." Why? Why would they be good? Why? Why? Like when you think about the Cardinals have a very good wide receiver over there. His name is Marvin Harrison Jr. You are now trading Marvin Harrison Jr. for arguably one of the best wide receivers, if not the best wide receiver in all of football, right? In Justin Jefferson. I can understand that with you have Addison as well. I can get the weapons, but this is still the same Kyler Murray that we're talking about, right? He is the same person. The same guy that has the bad body language. And he's 5'3". That's the guy, right? Okay. So, listen, I am not going to go ahead and try to project what the kid is going to do. I hope that he does well. Because they invested a lot of resources into J.J. McCarthy that has not worked. And I believe that he might need more time. He's only signed a 1-year deal. So is he a bridge and they go ahead and go back to JJ? Or is this going to be a competition type of thing where if Kyler does play well, they go ahead and try to extend him and try to right the wrong that they did with Sam Darnold to not keep Sam, right? We'll see what happens. But the Vikings are definitely in a situation where it's like, okay, they don't have to go quarterback this year. But it might make sense for them to go quarterback next year. Because if it doesn't work out with Kyler and JJ's not your future, then now you have your pick of the litter. Dante Moore, there's a whole bunch of other guys, Arch Manning. So that might be their plan. We'll see. But I am not going to be, the Vikings, they're going to be great. No.
Yeah, it's like an interesting take because he's not really, prospect-wise, Kyler Murray was a huge prospect, but like he hasn't really done much and shown you much at the NFL level. Just,
correct.
Like maturity and all that stuff. But like I find it interesting because obviously J.J. McCarthy lost out on the first year, and then you give him a second, you're like, okay, he's still, learning. Like it's interesting, like they're already like kind of like let's see what else we can get.
Yeah, they came out recently and said that they still have a lot of confidence in JJ. That doesn't mean much because teams lie all the time. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if adding a Kyler Murray to the quarterback room is going to elevate JJ's game, because sometimes that does happen. You bring in somebody who's better than you. It now gives you the ability to be able to see what you're made of in regards to a competitive type of situation. So yeah, I'm curious to see it. You know what I mean? let's go ahead and go talk about the Maxx Crosby thing. Maxx Crosby had a deal in place to send him to Baltimore. Everybody was just like, "Oh my goodness, poor Joe Burrow. What is happening? Nobody cares about Joe." The Central Division, is it Central? It's the AL. What is it? What's the damn division? It's the NFC North. Yeah.
Yes.
It's NFC North.
Yes.
I'm over here thinking baseball. NFC North. So they were over here, sad and frustrated. But then all of a sudden, Baltimore backs out. They don't want to do the deal anymore. I'm just like, why? But then got the medicals, and now people they got their conspiracy theory hats on. They got their aluminum hats on. Oh, Baltimore did some BS. They wanted to go ahead and they conspired with the Vegas Raiders because Vegas knew that he was gonna fail the physical, and if they were able to trade him, then they could be able to go sign the lineman and have the money for that. I'm just like, none of that stuff makes any sense. It just doesn't. The Cowboys were going to make a trade for Maxx Crosby. Baltimore comes in and offers 2 first-round picks, and Vegas says, okay, you guys give us 2 first-round picks? Sure. And Baltimore got the word from Vegas medicals. He just had surgery. Everything's clean on the short term. But it's the long-term issues that Baltimore's medical staff had. We have concerns about what his long-term situation will look like. You have all of these fans, oh, yo, this is BS, man. Like, yo, other teams, like, why don't they have a uniform type of physical? And I'm just like, because you have independent doctors. Could you imagine going to different doctors and the other doctors saying, "Oh, well, this is the uniform regulation, so you're not sick, yet you're sick." Mm-hmm. But everybody's telling you, well, based on what the other doctor said and all the other guidelines, you're well. You go to different doctors to get second and third and fourth opinions because you want a different set of eyes on you. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing in sports. Every team has their own independent doctors, and they have their own guidelines as to what is okay and what's not okay for them. Mm-hmm. Perfect example. Mets signed Carlos Correa. It's a big deal. Signed him in the dead of the morning. Met fans woke up. We got what? What the hell happened? I went to bed at 8:15. By 3:30 in the morning, my phone is going crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And what ended up happening? The deal doesn't go through. Why? Because the Mets doctors did not like his physicals. They didn't like what the medicals showed them. They didn't like what the ankle looked like. They didn't like the ankle and the femur and all that other. They didn't like what they saw. Mm-hmm. So they needed to get more insurances from Boris and the player, and they couldn't get that, and the deal got voided. Mm-hmm. What ends up happening? He goes to the Twins. Twins don't have a problem with his medicals. Why? Because they have different parameters. That's the same thing in sports. It's football, doesn't matter what it is. It happened in basketball last season. The Lakers made a trade for, what's his name? Williams, big center from Charlotte. They got him, didn't like his physicals, and they reneged the trade. Mm-hmm. It happens. We have to remember, we're so used to trades just going through that we never read the fine print. Trade completed upon physical, pending physical. Mm-hmm. We never worry about that last part. Why? Because 99% of the time, deals get passed through. People pass their physicals. There's not an issue. But that 1%, It's always a thing.
Yeah. Especially when you're giving up 2 first round.
You got to
picks.
make
Like,
sure.
That's a big.
You're giving up your future for a player in the short term that's going to be great for you. But what's going to happen down the road? Is he going to be able to? Is his value going to stretch past the 2 first round picks that I just gave up for?
Because who are those 2 first round picks? Like, that could be the next
Joe Burrow. You never know.
Yeah.
The next Lawrence Taylor. You have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where a team like Baltimore said, "No, we don't feel comfortable with this. So we're gonna move forward and sign Trey Hendrickson." They signed Trey Hendrickson for what? $114 million. And Vegas keeps their player. I heard that Maxx Crosby is saying that he's invested and all's well with him. Moving on. Tua signs with the Falcons. Very odd move for me. We know that Penix is not going to be ready for the start of the season. So I understand why they do this, why they did this move. Having 2 left-handed quarterbacks on the same team is very interesting. I don't know what message you're sending if you're the Atlanta Falcons. Penix is your guy. And then you go ahead and go sign this failed quarterback that looks like he doesn't even want to play football. That's your leader? That's the guy that you want Drake London and, Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitt. That's the guy that you want them to be able to, put trust into? That guy?
Yeah,
he couldn't lead a parade.
The very, very confusing quarterback moves of recent for the Falcons.
Yeah, we'll get there. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off, please. I've been a Jet fan my whole life. My entire life. I remember the first time, I don't remember the memory. I remember the pictures. I've seen pictures. 1989. I have a Jets jersey on. It wasn't an official Jets jersey. It wasn't a player's jersey, but it was just a little, those little 80s outfits. What it was Jet stuff, right? I had a football in my hand, Jet jersey on. I remember fondly watching the Jets, and then I would fondly turn to Fox and watch the Dallas Cowboys. So I had dual citizenship as a kid. I had an affinity for the Dallas Cowboys. I liked that star. But I also loved my Jets, that green helmet that used to sparkle. I loved it as a kid. Just looked good. They were lovable losers. So I would constantly have my dual citizenship. I'd root for the Cowboys. I'd root for the Jets. And then as I got older, I started rooting more for the Jets because a lot of people in my family were just Jets fans. My best friend's father is a huge Jets fan. So because of that, you tend to kind of lean more that way. So full gangrene. I remember 98 was a great season where we brought the Denver Broncos to the brink, and Vinny Testaverde was the man. He pretty much on his last legs and came to the Jets and kind of revamped the latter part of his career. It was great. We've been through the Woody Johnson buying the team in 2000 and that being a fucking nightmare. Having Bill Belichick say, "Yeah, I'm going to take the job," and then fax in his resignation and say, "No, I'm out of here." And then the rest is history with New England. So we've been through so much pain. The Rex Ryan years that were good at first. And again, I'd still have my affinity for the Cowboys. Not as much, though, but I'd still check in here or there. And at this time, around 2010, 2011, there's a run on mobile quarterbacks in college, right? Guys that are hybrid, they're dual, they can be able to do multiple things. And that started to be a thing in the NFL. It started to translate to the NFL of what you see today pretty much started back then. And I said to myself, and I said to my friends that were Jets fans, I know this organization so well, and I know this front office so well that they're going to do something so incompetent that it's going to force me to have to make a decision. And they said, decision? What are you talking about, decision? What does that mean? I said, I can bet all the money that I have in my bank account, and at that time it wasn't much, but I can bet all the money in my bank account that the Jets are going to draft the worst mobile quarterback out there. And his name is Geno Smith. He resides in West Virginia. He goes to West Virginia University. And he's terrible. And I can promise you, that's who the Jets are going to draft. And my friends, and you go back and think about it now, it's such a prophet, and it's like I was born to do this, right? I've always had this sixth sense of things. And my friends would look at me like I was crazy. Why would they draft Geno Smith? There's no reason. There's other guys that could. It was 2011. 2013 was that draft. Second round comes. And who do the Jets draft? Geno Smith out of West Virginia. That was the last day I was a Jets fan. I threw in my card that day. And I just went ahead and just took up the other citizenship that I had and became a Cowboys fan full time. It's fine for a while. But you always get the pull of going back home. And it was so good to be able to see Aaron Rodgers in a Jets jersey. I was just like, oh, that's my favorite quarterback. He's in New York. There's a chance that I might go home. I decided to go home. Decided to go back home. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. I went back. I've been happy, right? All these other things, of course, Aaron Glenn's a moron. Justin Fields a moron. But Justin Fields no longer there. Great. There's future. You got draft picks. Muji was cooking with grease. First day of free. He got Fitzpatrick. He got Demario Davis. You got Osai. There's so many deals the man made. He was great. And then, in a shock move, I even had videos about it. I said, look, I don't want no damn Kyler Murray. I don't want Tua. I want Jacoby Brissett. I want Mac Jones. Give me Kirk Cousins. I'll take them. Because I know that it's just for a year. It's a bridge, and we can be able to just get to Arch. That's all we need. Find a way to get to Arch. I didn't even mention Geno, just because it's a deal breaker for me. So why would I want Geno Smith on the Jets? Because if he's here, I have to leave. I got to stand on business. And lo and behold, we start hearing the rumors. Very much looks like Geno Smith is on his way to the Jets. And I'm like, where did this come from? And I start to hear the rumblings. Well, we know that the Raiders have the number one pick. We know that Fernando Mendoza will be the number one pick. Tom Brady is in love with that kid and is going to take him under his wing and show him everything he knows. So that leaves Geno as persona non grata. He was told that he wasn't going to start. Of course not. Why would they? You're Geno Smith. Why would I start you over a kid that has talent? No, it makes sense. So here's my issue. They go ahead and make the deal. And the first thing that gets into my head, I'm like, well, I need to see the details of this deal. The Raiders are paying the salary of Geno Smith. So they are taking on all of the responsibility just to get rid of him, and you said yes. That's like having the worst girlfriend in the world and saying, look, I need you to take her cross country. I'm going to pay all the expenses. She's a terrible person. She will probably make you hate yourself by the end of that trip. But I'm going to pay for it. And you said yes to it. Why? I don't know. Maybe because we're just the real life versions of the sports cuck. I have no idea. But they go ahead and they say yes to this thing. And my thing is that Geno Smith could have got released, and you didn't have to give up any draft capital to get him. You could have just signed him for $6 if you wanted to. You traded a 6th-round pick for him, or 7, whatever the hell it was. And everybody's like, oh, well, that's not much draft capital. I wouldn't trade a bag of bowling balls for Geno Smith. I wouldn't trade a bag of golf balls for Geno Smith. He's terrible. So I gotta leave again. I gotta leave again. I have no team for 2026. I'm not going to Dallas. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna float in the wind until 2027. I will be back with the Jets February 2027 because I will now know that the Jets will secure a top 3 pick because of Geno Smith. I appreciate that, but I can't watch it. I refuse to support a team that has Geno Smith on it. I left 13 years ago. I gotta stand on business. Just the way it is. I can't do it. You have people that understand how bad he is. And just because we're Jets fans and we have PTSD and we have Stockholm syndrome, we're going to go ahead and say, oh, well, yeah. And listen, he was good in 2024. What the fuck does that mean? It means nothing. Did you see him last year? He was so bad last year, Silent Assassin, that they fired Pete Carroll because of it. They said, we're not even going to fire him. We're not going to release him. We're going to fire you because you took him here. You brought his ass here. You got to go. That's like you having a friend, right? And the friend is the worst person in the world. I'm not going to curse the friend out. I'm going to curse the person out who brought the friend here. Why'd you bring this person here? I'm blaming you. That's how bad it is. I'm gonna go to my phone and show you something. Hold on. 'Cause I'm not done. I am beside myself with anger. Let me go ahead and go see this because I believe I have it here. No, that's not it. I'm going to go ahead and find it. I think it was a post. I don't remember exactly. Oh, yeah, here it is. Good. I knew I'd find it. So, you want to know how much of a jinx this motherfucker is? Geno Smith was on the Seattle Seahawks at one time, right? Do you know what happened the year that he left Seattle? Who did they sign?
Sam Darnold.
Oh. What happened to Seattle?
Won a Super Bowl.
Got it. Do you know who the quarterback was of the Las Vegas Raiders this year?
Geno Smith.
Yeah. Who are they getting in the draft?
Number 1 pick for Mendoza.
probably one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in the last decade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Geno Smith is responsible for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Geno Smith is now a Jet. Who's the most touted rookie or quarterback in next year's draft?
Manning.
Acha. Mr. Archibald Manning, right? There's precedent here. That's all I'm saying. So I get that people want to support it because you're supporting the tank, but I can't do it. I despise Geno Smith as a quarterback. I remember all of the immature things that he did when he was here. He got into a fight when he was here and got his jaw broken. That's the guy that you bring back here to do what? And this is the problem that I have with the Jets, is that you go from Justin Fields to Geno Smith. I have a concern that this regime doesn't know how to pick a quarterback. So even if the Jets have the number one pick next year, or if they don't have the number one pick, because maybe the number one pick is just a surefire thing, but say the Jets have 2, 3, or 4. I'm nervous as hell because that means you have options and you don't know who the fuck you're gonna pick. That's the problem for me. Because if you go from, we think that Justin Fields is good, dumb. We're gonna go ahead and go trade for Geno Smith when we didn't have to trade for him. We could have literally just waited until the Raiders cut him and we could have signed him for $6. But no, you give up draft capital for him. I gots to go. Okay? I gots to go. So there will be no Jets watch on this show next year. There'll be no discussions about Aaron Glenn much unless there's some palpable news. I will not be doing any Jets coverage. I have to physically purge myself from this bullshit. But I'll be back in 27. Thoughts?
Yeah, for me, it was just shocking because, clearly he didn't work out here when he was here. And then you had potential options to go get, a starting quarterback or, bridge quarterback, whatever you want it, to be. And, it's a 7-round pick is still a 7-round pick. And you just gave it up for nothing. Because you said, they expect him to be, just there for next year. Why are you wasting the pick when there's free agent options? Or, like you said, once the Raiders released him, just go pick him up in free agency.
I would have rather them take Carson Wentz. And he's bad.
Uh-huh.
It's bad.
It's just a funny, because I'm thinking about you. I'm you technically never had to leave the Jets because neither team in that span have went and done anything. Obviously the Cowboys have won more games, but still there's no winning.
Yeah.
In that span of
It's
time.
been 16 years since the Jets have been in the playoffs. Wouldn't it be funny if Geno Smith is the one that, you know what? That would be very funny if that every Jets fan is yes, we're going to go ahead and definitely secure a top pick now, and Geno Smith goes ahead and sinks your chances of getting Arch Manning. That would be the biggest FU to the Jets organization and the fan base ever.
You make it to the playoffs first time in forever and just lose first round. And
you
then you miss
lose
out.
the potential to get a generational quarterback because of Geno fucking Smith. If that happens, I'm going to laugh so hard, and it may delay my return. It may just delay my return, Silas. I can't. I don't know. I gotta. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm not just gonna make a blanket statement anymore. I'm gonna see how it goes. But I want to see how this season goes until I commit to returning in 27 because what if Geno turns into Rich Gannon and he has like a late renaissance at 35 and now the Jets are compelled to like extend him and say, oh man, you played so well for us last year that we actually want to give you like a 2-year deal. And it's like Geno Smith is now your quarterback for an additional 2 years. So I don't want to make that commitment and have to walk it back again. If he's here, I can't be here. That's all it is. You got Jeff. Oh, it's not gonna be so bad. You don't know Geno Smith like I know Geno Smith, and that's the problem. Okay, so I got nothing else for him. I got nothing else for the Jets until February of 27. Irrelevant news of the week time.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch them? I mean, yeah, they stink.
Every week we go ahead and we discuss certain topics. Let's see what we got. We have... Oh, this was funny. Donald Trump has endorsed Jake Paul for political office. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. We are officially in Idiocracy. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Yeah, you need to see it. No. You will laugh your ass off. You'll be like, this seems like today. Like, well, how did they know this? Yeah. If Jake Paul runs for office, it's pretty much like game, set, match for the United States because that would just kind of solidify that we will never get out of the basement of stupid. Mm. Right? It's one thing to be in the basement, but you can find your way out of the hole. Dig yourself out, you pull yourself out of the hole that you dug and try to get some sense back into you. But no, you go ahead and go down this road. Curtains. That's all I'm going to say. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Lamar Odom has reportedly checked out of rehab and is looking to get into coaching. The two-time NBA champ has had conversations with athletic departments and basketball staff about joining them to help develop the next generation of players. Happy for Lamar Odom. He has admitted over several pods and situations that he loves drugs. He loved it for a while and a long time and did so many things and is lucky to be alive. And you love to see things like that just as long as he understands that the battle is never over. You know, once you're an addict, you're always an addict. And that's just the way it is that no addict ever says to themselves that they're recovered. They're recovering. Mm-hmm. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm a recovering drug addict because you're always going to have that temptation of it's there, mm-hmm. but you have the right tools to be able to keep you on the path of sobriety. And that's the best thing. You may have some slip-ups or two. You may have some relapses. That's just a natural ebbs and flows of recovery. But hopefully if you do have a slip-up, you have enough support there that can be able to get you on the right track. So I think basketball can be a healthy outlet for Lamar Odom to be able to put all of his energy into. And I hope that he does get an opportunity to be able to pass some of his basketball knowledge down to the next generation because he was a very intelligent player. He's a really, really good player when he was playing. So I support him. I hope that things work out for him, and I hope that he can be able to, be a living testament of, hey, you can have it all. You can make mistakes and hit rock bottom and find your way out of that hole that you dug for yourself and be able to have a more fruitful life that you can be able to now pass on that knowledge to other people. So salute to Lamar Odom. Real good stuff. Moving on. This was crazy. Detroit hairstylist threatens woman with assault rifle over $10.
What?
I will bury you over $10. A Detroit woman says a hair appointment turned into a frightening confrontation after a disagreement over the service was price. Robin Phillips, who's the reporter, says she went to the hairdresser's home with her boyfriend and daughter, expecting to pay. Well, no, Robin Phillips is actually the hairdresser. Excuse me. Hairdresser's home with a boyfriend and daughter, expecting to pay a discounted rate for 3 13-day deals advertised. However, she claims the stylist told her the service would cost more than expected. Phillips says she ultimately agreed to pay the higher price, but the situation still escalated. I think they have her talking right here. I need to hear this.
A discount at this hairdresser's house. So she decided to take advantage of that discount. She booked an appointment for her and her daughter to get their hair done. When the services were over, the hairdresser said she was charging her more money. It wasn't what the discount price was advertised as. Robin Phillips said she ended up paying the higher price anyway. And then she says this happened. Take a look.
She had the scissors in her hand. She already had scissors in her hand. She says, if you're not gonna pay me, then I'm gonna cut your daughter's hair. She just kept waving the scissors around like this, and I was just like, just basically trying to calm her down, like, please do not do that. So she runs upstairs and she grabs an AR.
What?
So
How do you just have an AR just sitting around?
So she went upstairs to grab the AR. She's like, you're not leaving out of here until you run me my money. So I did just that, and she's still going on and on about it. I want more money. So I'm just like, here, just take it. I gave her basically everything that I had. Be dumb. Out my house. And it says, I'll shoot some stuff. No, I'll shoot you. Don't do that. I'm just distraught right now because she did all of this for what? When we could have just simply just handled it, like adults. When she said, I will shoot you, I will bury you over $10. She was saying that, yeah. She said, I will bury you over $10. So we pushed past her. We had to get out of there.
Wow. What a story.
You rather spend life in jail, like
Than just honor the advertisement that you
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
It just sounded like a scam. It was probably a scam to probably get people in there, and then you can be able to bully them into like convincing them to give you more money because now they're in the house.
It'd be like, oh, that deal's expired
Right.
now and all that stuff. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. That's
But for you to just have an AR just laying around, you are an unhinged person.
That's
Crook.
wild. Out of any, obviously you're in your house, you want to protect your house, whatever.
Yeah.
But to that type of gun is like,
Crook,
what do you do with
crook,
that?
and crook killer is what she is. Crook killer is what she is. That's what I call her. Unbelievable. That is insane.
Crazy.
Let's see here. What a story. Oh, this is interesting. I'd love to know what you think about this. Uber's women-only option goes nationwide in the U.S. Thoughts?
I think we talked about that a few months ago. I remember mentioning it.
Now it's official.
Yeah. I think it's like a good thing just for, especially depending on when and where you're getting an Uber.
Yeah.
For women, that could be a scary situation, kind of getting alone in a car with a guy late at night. You don't
Yeah.
know who this person is, Granted, women could be crazy too, but a woman with a woman and then being a man, it's just like comfort's definitely more ease.
Peace of
with the
mind,
woman,
yeah.
than with a guy. So yeah, I think it's definitely a good thing just to have, or even women that had past experiences, that traumatic experiences where PTSD and all those types of things, where they don't have to worry about it. And if they need a ride somewhere, or they're, coming home from a bar and, some people say, well, I don't want to take an Uber, I'll just possibly drink and drive because I feel safer being
Yeah.
by myself and risking other people's lives getting on the wheel than taking an Uber with a man, then it's definitely, you know, a really great option. I think should obviously expand to, like, you know, all the other kind of car services out there, just to have that peace of mind for women out there.
Yeah, 100%, man. You know, all the rideshare apps should have it. Even regular cabs, they should have that option. But, you know, obviously it's a hiring situation. But I think it's a good thing, man. I think, you know, when you go ahead and you're putting your life in somebody else's hands to be able to get you to your destination safely, you want to make sure that you have peace of mind that the person that's driving this vehicle has your best interest at heart and has your safety in the forefront of their minds, right? And you don't want to think that somebody is going to be doing something nefarious. I mean, look, you know, sex trafficking is at such a high level in this country, around the world, that, you know, women do have to be a lot more careful with the decisions that they make and where they go. You know, I don't believe that a woman should go anywhere without a group of, if she's going out with her friends, and make sure you stay with that friend group. You know, don't veer off, and don't even see if you can be able to even go home with that same friend group and figure it out, right? You know, it's definitely an interesting situation out here, man. But good on Uber to be able to give people this option, give women this option, so they can be able to feel a lot safer. You know, maybe there's going to be a lot more cat fights, but you know, at least they can be able to get to their destinations. Oh man, that is it for irrelevant news. Oh, but they did say women have a higher rate of being psychopaths. They did say that. The study did say that. I'm just saying. That is my irrelevant news of the week.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the... I mean, yeah, they stink.
Let's go ahead and briefly talk about the Mets. Silent Assassin, your thoughts about the Mets retiring Carlos Beltran's number sometime this off season. This season. I don't know exactly when the date is, but I do believe that they said that they're trying to do it this season, which is great.
Yeah, it's like definitely a big year for him. You know, he's going inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame, the Mets Hall of Fame. So now the number retirement, I think, is definitely well deserved for his time here and his continued time here. It still, like, pains me to, like, see what could have been if he was the manager. I mean, he was a manager for technically, but didn't get the on-field time.
I think he would have been great, man.
Yeah. So maybe that's still in the cards down in, you know, the future.
I think it is. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely excited for him. Again, well deserved. And just to see another number up there. There's not many Mets deserving. Like just in our history, there's not many, you know, Hall of Fame, you know, players. Like he's going in as a Met too. So
it's a third one.
Yeah. So that's definitely, you have to, someone like that's going in as a Met, like I feel like you have to kind of give them some type of recognition for your team and whatnot in your organization. So excited to see all that kind of go through this year.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you know, he even said in an interview that the respect that he has for Alex and Steve Cohen, how they treat the players, how they show passion and love this team so much that it was a no-brainer for him to choose the Mets to be able to be on his plaque in Cooperstown, right? He said had it not been for Steve and Alex, he would have had no team on his cap. Like, I mean, he would have just went in just default. You know what I mean? And it just shows you how far the Mets organization has come in regards to, like, respect around the league, players feeling comfortable, players, saying good things and spreading the word, and that spreads quickly to other players that want to go ahead and come in here, especially to the international players, where there's always been a very good international flavor on this team, and a lot more prevalent since, like, you can say, like, the 2003 season, right? So you want to go ahead and continue that, but under the Coens, they've really taken player comfortability and the prestige of the franchise and have heightened that. And we just love what we're seeing. The fact that we had a run on Met Hall of Fame jersey retirements. I mean, we didn't have any of those for so long, and now it's like, all right, let's kind of kibosh it here. You know what I mean? Like, shouts to Tom. Tom was like, I don't want to see any more right now. But it's just a testament to know that we have a ownership group that does care about the history of the franchise. Yeah. And the importance of keeping these players around and immortalizing them where they belong. You know what I mean? Like, for so long they weren't being treated the right way. And I just love exactly what they're doing. So I am definitely in Carlos Beltran's corner in regards to this. Can't wait to see it. Hopefully I'm there. And so we will see that. Here's the biggest issue that I'm currently seeing. I don't know if you've seen this, but your man Sean Mania.
Yeah, not too great today.
Not too great is an understatement, but the biggest issue is not the actual poor performance. Excuse me. It is his velo's down.
Mm-hmm. That's never a good sign.
Yeah, so normally he sits about 92, 93. Probably dial it up to 94 on a hyped up day, but he's sitting 88, 89.
Yeah. And that's like pretty non-competitive. You know? Especially now in this day and age, Yeah. You gotta show some speed. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting going forward of what they decide to do with him, because he's still got 2 years, or they got an opt-out option, something like that, maybe. So gave him big money, and hasn't really worked out very nicely for the Mets. But yeah, I feel like it's a sad situation, because he obviously in 2024 was a huge fan favorite and kind of was a part of that culture for the team. But unfortunate luck after the fact. So
yeah, I mean, you know how I feel. I've been saying this for a long time. You got loose bodies in your elbow. Yeah. Take your loose body off this team. That's what you need to do, and get the hell out of here, because you're robbing this team blind. $25 million, and you can't even throw 90 miles an hour?
Yeah. I did see it was like how they always put out those potential trades, and there was a package that included Manaea and Vientos to the Red Sox for the I'm not good at the Asian players' names. The guy on the Red Sox.
Yoshida,
yes. For him and taking on his contract, and then like a top or high-end prospect. I think one more potentially, but obviously the Mets will be taking on the money, so that could be an option. But that was just like a thrown out there trade.
I do it.
Yeah.
I do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they could potentially package those two together.
Yeah, give Christian Scott that position in the rotation. Yeah. I'm done with Manaea. I just, Carlos Mendoza is not worried about it. David Stearns is not worried about the velo. So we'll see. We'll see if he can be able to get this velo around. But, the fact that he's sitting 88, 89. I mean, look, he had a very, very injury-plagued 2025. He had the oblique thing. Then he had the loose body thing. There were so many different injuries that he had. I guess the fact that he hasn't had any this year is a good sign. So maybe that's why they're not really worried about velo, just because he might not be going full full out, but you still want to make sure that the guy is having some good outings. And the fact that he's getting shelled, spring training, it's not a big deal, but it is a concern.
Yeah.
Because if he's not locating and he's not getting enough swings and misses, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because with that arm angle that he has, it's very herky-jerky anyway. And if they're starting to pick that up and you don't have any deception behind your delivery, you're going to get shelled. It's just the way it is.
When they first introduced that in 2024, it was a new thing. So maybe it's just hitters weren't really adjusting well to it. And then, okay, we understand how he's pitching now. This is easy for us.
Yeah.
We'll see how kind of he plays. If he's not able to strike batters out or get swing and misses, then hopefully he gets a lot of ground balls and flies and lets the defense handle all of that. But we'll wait and see kind of how obviously the in-season play is. Because I remember people last year were kind of going crazy Diaz is down, on velo, but you necessarily in spring training don't want to be throwing crazy hard just because of potential injury.
Yep.
So we'll see how he ramps up the next 2 weeks. I'm sure he'll have another start or something in between.
I think that's where I'm at with it, Silent Assassin. I don't want to completely write him off just because of what you just said. They probably don't want to ramp him up too heavy and have him throw everything, and then the loose bodies end up getting flared up and there's some inflammation there. You gotta shut him down. So we'll be patient for now.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. What the hell is wrong with Mark DeRosa?
That whole U.S. team is kind of interesting. Not the right fit for that team, obviously, as a manager.
How do you not know?
Yeah.
That you didn't clinch?
Yeah.
And then it's one thing for you to not know. But no one on the staff, no players, nobody checked the standings, nobody checked the rules, nobody checked all of the particular options and what's out. No one checked it. They just said, okay, Mark told us that we're good. We can go ahead and go crash out. No one checked this thing?
Because teams every year kind of play off hunt and they're checking the standings every day. It's maybe we'll clinch today, maybe we'll clinch tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have to beat.
And they know all the scenarios.
Yeah.
Even if the manager or the coach doesn't know, somebody on the staff is saying, yo, coach, this is what we found. This is what we researched. This is what our scenarios are. No one?
Yeah. Just also, too, just in, more morals, you never celebrate early until you know that for sure.
Yeah.
You see all the standings of all the teams, all the games and stuff, and then, okay, that box is checked. After the game, we're fully secured with that. Then we're good. Just do double checks. If you're not sure, just make sure you're sure.
That's
it. You're just looking back. You're a joke at this point.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
It's the old saying. It ain't over till the fat lady sings.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't sit on nobody and she ain't sing, so it ain't over.
Uh-huh.
So I saw that. I was just they don't deserve to win anything. Mm-hmm. There's only one team that I root for. And I told you that, right? They play a brand of fun baseball. The way they play baseball is what I want to see. How baseball's played every day.
Yeah,
that just looks too fun, right?
It looks like the Little League World Series kind of.
Yeah, we get the Catholic Church style Ave Ma, the boring, dragged out. Oh well, this is tradition. You can't do this. You can't show up the pitcher. You can't pimp your home run, or else you're gonna get hit. Shut up. Mm-hmm. All right. If I smack a 460-foot home run, you're damn right I'm gonna look at that shit. Mm-hmm. I want my teammates to be going crazy in the stands and in the dugout. I want to go ahead and do what I want to do. That's the way baseball is supposed to be played.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's exciting. If that was on your TV every day, baseball would you would start to see the casual fans start tapping in again.
Yeah. Even to like if just how Japan does it, like there's so many baseball fans in Japan, but just because if you watch a game there, like everyone is hyped.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's
Stands
out,
be crazy.
Yeah, stands cheering, screaming, the way that the announcers are.
Right.
So like we need that in America to
Yeah.
have like that type of baseball played, because like, you know, you can even be a huge baseball fan, but like if you're sitting there in a game and like you're not hearing anything, like it is like a very lonely atmosphere unless you're really into it.
Right.
But because like baseball's not like a crowd event to go to. It's like you have to like baseball or you're just not gonna want to be there. But also too, it's like seeing some TikToks. It's like, oh, the old-fashioned way of America's sport. But like back then, they were like doing drugs, getting into fights and what. Like
They were
that's,
all
like,
on greenies.
Like that's your pastime.
Right.
Like, let them have fun.
Putting people in headlocks and punching people in the face.
Yeah.
Like things need to evolve, and I'm somewhat of a traditionalist in some ways in regards to like football. I like smash mouth football. I don't like the score when it's 45-50. I don't like that. I like a defensive struggle game. You know, the running backs are going at it. The offensive line is doing their job. The defensive line, there's a battle there, right? There's cornerback knockdowns. There's savvy quarterback play on a 3rd and 9. Quarterback drops back, sheds off a fucking sack, and delivers a strike 12 yards and continues to move. Like those are the battles that I like to see. I don't like to see a no defense drag, like just offensive powerhouse game. I don't like those. Same thing with baseball, right? There's certain things in baseball that I don't want to see change, right? I hate the hitting approach of people. Like, just go back to just doing what worked before. Hit them where they ain't. Be able to go opposite field. You know, take what the pitcher gives you and understand how the situation will hit. That's what I want to see, but we don't get that. We were in the era of mashing home runs, right? Also, with the pitch clock, I had to get used to that, but I don't think the pitch clock is terrible. The ABS system, don't really like that either. I believe that they should just have a set number at the start of the game, whether you use it or you don't. If you use it and it's an accepted or approved challenge, you still lose it. If you use it and it doesn't get overturned, you lose it. You should just have a set 3 or whatever the number is, set 3 or 4 for the entire game, and that's it. You don't keep because okay, cool, we're giving you 2 challenges. If you win the challenge, then you keep it. Then you don't necessarily have 2. Then you have an endless amount until you get it wrong. That doesn't make sense either. So there's a lot of things that I'm a traditionalist in. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Yeah, they should. Like, I get, like, now, like, because the players are always so passionate, because, like, this is their Olympics, because, like, the MLB stars don't get to play in the baseball Olympics. It's just all, like, minor league, you know, players. So, I love the passion that they're showing, and, like, those different countries can actually play the way that they want to, because they're not locked down to playing American baseball.
They don't need to be bogged down and play boring-ass American baseball. Like, let them express themselves and be able to show how great this game is on an international scale. And hopefully we can be able to learn from that and just allow them to do this. Like I said, I believe that Major League Baseball needs to take their fucking money and go build a 30,000-seat arena in the Dominican Republic and start having games over there. Because if you can have some Dominican series, oh man, where you're there for a week and there's 5 teams there, man.
Yeah, they have to do it, because like they're going to these random countries that no one cares about.
Who cares about London, right?
Like, no one there.
They
is
don't
watching.
care.
Yeah. So like have it in those high like spots, like Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, all those like even well they went to Japan a couple years ago, right? So just those high baseball locations where everyone wants to see, because like sometimes people don't get to come here and see a game, so to bring it down to where closer to where they are would be really great for the sport. Just growing internationally.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Like the fact that you got those Czech players that literally work at Home Depot and they out there playing. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those are the stories that you like to see. But baseball is exciting, man, when they allow the game to just be the game, right? Instead of having all of these stupid ass traditionalist rules that just make the game dull. You know what I mean? Like, for example, taking out the extra inning games. Like I like that, where hey, listen, the game goes 19 innings, it goes fucking 19. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, I don't like that whole same way, like changing all those like things. Like you have to win the game. Like you're not gonna get like a little hack, like get the runner on second base like that.
Oh my god, that ghost runner shit, shoot it. It's dead.
Yeah. Even to like for the whole ABS system, like okay, I get it, but like still like your umpires should know how to umpire.
Yeah.
And not have ridiculous calls like how some of them do.
There's no accountability.
Yeah, like you have to have like a quota, like you have to be within like 98%, 95% of correct calls, or else you're not allowed to be in major league umpire.
I agree.
Because that's just like a joke in itself of like kind of the umpires that we've been dealing with for the past 20 years, whatever it may be. Like, so we'll see. Like, I don't know. I like the human element to sports and kind of stay away from all these numbers and robots and all these things. So
no, I get you.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. Moving on to the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Every week I go around the room and I ask who is the Dummy of the Week. Silent Assassin, do you have one, my friend?
yeah, I'm going with Jake Paul. Just not only for that whole political, situation, but
Fiasco.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I understand some people are extra sweaty, but I don't know if you saw he sweated through like 3 or 4 articles of clothing. Like I didn't even know that was humanly possible.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
he has like an undershirt, a dress shirt, the suit jacket, and there's just the most massive like pit stains like from like the middle of his arm like down to like his side, like where his ribs are. And I was doing like I'm thinking like he owns a deodorant brand. So like if you're out here promoting like I use this product and stuff, like clearly like you don't want to be promoting that if you're sweating like a freaking monster. Like I've never seen, like you have to see like these pit stains are absolutely crazy. Like I didn't think it was like, you always have to double check nowadays with AI stuff and whatnot. Like
That's true.
But I checked and that thing is just a massive, massive pit stain. It's like, it's just crazy.
It's probably on the gas. Maybe it's allowing him to sweat profusely like that. Who knows? Who the hell knows? But yeah, Jake Paul.
Dummy.
Anything Jake Paul does, it's just, he is the definition of a village idiot. He's just he looks stupid in his face, and then when he starts to speak, it's confirmed how stupid he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like his brother is like, man, it's my brother. I can't disown him, but I think he's dumb as well. You know what I mean? So
it's like I'm not a hater of anyone. Like I definitely dislike people, but like I think he's the closest person that I like hate. Like it's been years, like kind of ever since he really came up. I just never liked him at all.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. He's a very hard person to like.
Yeah.
Not saying that he doesn't have some redeeming qualities, but they're very, very few and far between. So Jake Paul gets the
Dummy, yeah.
I got one, and boy, is it a good one. May I have the drum roll, please? Where is my envelope? And the winner of Dummy of the Week for this week, Tarek Skubal. Tarek Skubal gets my,
Dummy,
We talked about Tarek Skubal last night on Queens Get the Money, Silent Assassin, and our good friend Tom is asking us, yo, who would you rather take? Are you going to take the risk of Tarek Skubal? Or are you going to go ahead and just keep Freddie Peralta? What are you going to do? And we just like, you know what? I would rather keep Peralta just because he's in-house and we don't want to risk not having anything because it's not a guarantee that Scooby will be here as a Met. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I am starting to get very, very worried about the IQ level of Tarek Skubal. So, and if that's the case, I don't want you here. You can go anywhere else but here. So, Tarek Skubal said this after his start in the WBC. I just assumed it would be an all-star game type of vibe, and it's absolutely not. It couldn't be further from that. I'm sorry. Is this your first time above ground? And is this the first time you've been above ground and they've asked you to pitch in the WBC? So you're trying to tell me that you've never watched a WBC game before you got in there? You never seen a clip of all the fans that are rabid, and no matter what team they're representing, they're going crazy. You never seen any of this. You don't have teammates that said, hey, Tarek, WBC is pretty fun, man. You know, it's a really good time. So you have never had any experiences with this for you to think that it has an all-star game feel. You're an idiot. And it makes me scared to think that he might be a ditz. And there's nothing worse than a ditz. Because if you're not aware of what's going on around you, well, that could be a positive in some aspects, but man, can it be a negative. What the hell is he talking about?
It's like literally, like I said, like this is the Olympics for MLB players. Like it's serious. Like the fans are serious about it.
They are dead serious.
Like it's not like we saw the whole Cal Raleigh situation. Like he's like, I'm not touching you.
Yeah,
like,
that's my teammate. I like him, but we ain't shaking hands today.
Yeah, no. Like no, this is serious. Like I want that medal. So for you like to not know that like as a baseball player is crazy.
It's very detached, and it makes me very nervous in regards to what type of person he is in his brain. Like,
because like obviously the whole like especially with the team Puerto Rico thing, like those players that didn't get to play, like they were hurt, like they were definitely down about that. So for you to kind of be in the same type of circles with like players like this, and you don't know that this is kind of not an all-star weekend, like let's just go have fun and whatever it is, then you shouldn't even have been playing for Team USA. Like accept the invite.
Absolutely, I seen that. I was just like, yo, Dodgers can have him. They can have him because if he's this stupid now, there's no telling what he's gonna do with $400 million. Like I don't want that level of idiocy coming on my team. Just don't want it. And this is pretty bad. This is like a Rob Manfred moment. You know what I mean? That's how stupid he is. Yeah, so Tarek Skubal, you got a whole
Dummy, yeah.
Why is this not thing?
Dummy, yeah.
I can't hear it now. Whatever. Yeah, I have no clue. Something's playing. I think something's playing.
I heard it in the headphones. So.
Yeah, something's playing, isn't it? I see something playing.
Dummy, yeah.
Interesting. And you hear it in the headphones, right?
The dummy, yeah, it's coming through.
Maybe my speaker died. Oh, there it is. Knew it.
Dummy.
Ha So, Tarek Scuba, you get the whole that. Because I don't know what the hell you was talking about. You better get it together. Because if you continue to open your mouth, pause, I think that people are going to start having a different opinion of you. Like, he's been very quiet. Just stay there, right? Just don't say much. Let your agent speak for you. Because if you continue to have, like, opinions, that might hurt your chances of getting paid, bro. That's all I'm saying. And we're watching. As Met fans, we want to make sure that you are together. We don't want to give some idiot $400 million because you might be great on the mound, but we don't want to hear from you after that. So,
Dummy. Yeah.
that's all for the show. I have a PSA. How can you not? We are living in desperate times. We are at war. Our economy is shot. People are in crisis. They don't have health care. Some people do not have their SNAP. You have victims out there of SA who are not being heard and files are still not released. You have an interesting dynamic. Do you know that the January 6th rioters, Silent Assassin, there have been 8 of them, and 8 of them that have been in the pardon, they've been pardoned like with all the other ones, right? Do you know that 8 of them have been associated or charged with some type of PDF files?
Interesting.
Is it? Or they have something going on, like that guy Jake Lang, the guy that had that rally or that protest in New York, and that device was there. He was in Minnesota, and they walked his ass to the city line and said, "Get the hell out of here before they rip you to shreds in here." And people got judged for that. It's like, why would you help him when he's an abject racist? And the reason why is like, because I don't want that body on my hands. You know, I want nothing to do with that. Anyway, he was caught having improper conversations with a 15-year-old, knowing that she's 15, because she's stated to you multiple times, "I'm 15." And what you ask her is, well, when she's turning 16, because I can't talk to you until you're 16. Odd behavior. So it's the same ones that are, we need to protect the children. We need to protect the children because Jesus told us that. Those are the ones you need to worry about. I keep trying to tell you is that not all Christians are PDF files, but check to see the PDF files if they're Christian. That's all I'm saying. You have a thing here that we have a mix of church and state where you're using this to be able to pass this, and that is a form of control. And that's the biggest issue in our country, isn't it? Is that people don't have their own opinions. Oh, well, Iran was gonna bomb us. We were threatened. No, we weren't. There was no evidence of them doing anything. But yet here we are. We're at war with a country that 9 presidents said, no, I'm not going in there. Sorry, not doing it. But the one useful idiot comes along, and here we are. And you know what's funny about that useful idiot? Is that it just got reported recently that in 2023, the Epstein files were hacked from the DOJ. And if you're living in present time, you're like, well, this is 2026. We know that when hackers get things because they've gotten into dating sites, they've gotten into personal information, they've gotten into. I remember I remember when they got into the iCloud and they were releasing all of these celebrity photos of indecent photos and people sex, all of these things. That's what hackers do. They get information and they release it. But if these were hacked in 2023, then where are they? We don't have any evidence of them being released. But let me ask you something. If you have someone who's an ally, or claim to be an ally, and why would that ally spy on you?
Not really an ally, yeah.
Yeah, if you have a friend, is that friend going to be keeping tabs on you? Eavesdropping on your conversations? They're going to be talking bad about you to other people. Is that a friend? No, that's not a friend. So I'm just going to put out a hypothetical. I don't know if this is true because I'm not a reporter. I'm not an investigative reporter. I'm not a sleuth. But I do have common sense. Common sense always leads you to the truth. If somebody claims to be your friend, but then they're spying on you, and then you find out that that some files were taken a few years before this new guy came into power, and you go ahead and you do something that no other president before you would do because they understood the damage and the casualties and the money and the global risk that you're running doing so. Would it be crazy for me to say to you, Silent Assassin, that maybe those files are not lost? Maybe they're just being used as a way to be able to keep somebody in control, correct?
Being held
Sounds
captive.
very plausible to me. You know, we live in a country where people are so hyper-focused on what's going on in our everyday. Egg prices, meat prices, gas prices. Well, gas is too high. It's gone up. It's gone up 60 cents in the last week. It's good. It's heading towards $5. That's more of a deal breaker for you than children getting bombed and 175 plus of them losing their lives going to school. That's more of a concern for you to fill up your car with gasoline than it is for human atrocities and war crimes to be administered. This is how far down the moral ladder we've fallen. It's that gas prices is your bottom line. Oh, that's where I draw the line with not being a supporter anymore. No, that's not the kids losing their lives. Got it. It's not the genocide that's happening in other places around the world. It's not just one. That's not a deal breaker for you. It's not the war crimes by your Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, where he goes ahead and blows up some people in the water on a boat. And while they're hanging off that boat, and that's a form of surrender, You go ahead and you bomb them again. They have no weapons. They can't defend themselves. They're floating on little pieces of their cargo, and you bomb them again. That's a war crime. Bombing kids is a war crime. And you know who else has a bunch of war crimes on top of their head too, to the point where the ICC has dubbed this person a war criminal, and if they do catch them outside of their country, they will arrest them on war crime charges. That's Bibi Netanyahu. So who's to say, again, I'm not a sleuth. I'm not an investigative journalist. Who's to say that the two most desperate autocrats in the world right now are trying to hold on to every semblance of power that they can, because they understand that if they're no longer in power anymore, then that's the game. People need to open their eyes. You know, people like to go ahead and talk about woke. Oh, it's woke. You know what woke means? Woke just means that you are now, your eyes are open to what's the bigger picture and what's important. Education in this country is under siege. We're one of the worst educated places around the planet. You know why that is? Because if you go ahead and you undereducate and undereducate your masses, you can be able to keep them under control. Knowledge is power, and everybody knows that. But if you don't spread knowledge to everybody and allow them to know the truth and the real history of this country, so that you fail to repeat things and you improve. If you don't tell them the truth, then you can be able to pull the veil over people's eyes, right? That's the truth. The last thing I'll leave everybody with in regards to Iran, when you hear people talking about, oh, well, you know, they're a terroristic organization, and yeah, there's some bad seeds over there. We're not going to say no. But there was also a big lie that was told. Oh, well, you know, we were friends with Iran at one time. No. I remember back in 1953, the leader of the country at that time did not like the way the British were dealing with their oil. They wanted to nationalize their oil. Give it back to the people. Be able to have a dominant economy that the world can be able to see, and they can be able to partner with and grow Iran. You know who didn't like that? The British didn't like that. So what the British ended up doing is that they called the U.S. and said, hey, can I speak to the CIA? There's some stuff going on around here that you might have to come in and come deal with this. And what did the U.S. do? Yeah, sure, we'll go in there. They went ahead and they toppled the government in 1953 and put in their own Shah. And you know what ended up happening? For 20-something years, the people of Iran revolted against the government. In 1979, they decided to, enough's enough. So they went ahead and overturned the U.S.'s pick to be able to be in power. That's where the whole strife comes from, because there were a lot of American citizens that were taken as hostages for certain reasons. Not because they wanted to, because they felt that they had to move up, they had to pull a power play. But again, if you strike me, how you deem me a bad guy? If I'm in my house and somebody comes in here and I put you down, I didn't choose to go outside and just select any random person. You came in here. So again, I ask, when do we as people educate ourselves and understand the history of where we live. Because when we can understand the history, we can be able to do better because we will not repeat those mistakes. So that's all I'm gonna say. What a time to be alive. I have seen a lot more in my 40 years than my parents have seen their entire life. That's interesting. And you as a young person, Silent Assassin, I don't know what the future holds, but I think that more people need to be aware, use their platform for good, no longer stay out of the fight, because anybody that says, I try to stay out of the politics thing, they are ignorant, because you can't stay out. Everything around you is political, every single thing. And for you to believe that it's not, then that's a problem. And that's where the biggest issues fall. So, any thoughts?
I don't really know what to say. It's just a very, scary time out there. No one wants this. I feel like ultimately, we just kind of come to sorts as soon as possible and kind of get past this, and hoping, that, the damage kind of stays in control. Like what happened, with those kids, it's just like that can't happen.
Yeah.
And that needs to, end as, it should have ended already, but it needs to, come to a close.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with the Strait of Hormuz, basically, Iran is telling people, you can only come in here if you denounce your ties with those other two people. Mm. They're not messing around. Mm-hmm. This is Vietnam on steroids. Yeah. We went to Vietnam and thought we was going to go ahead and go bust up those little people. And those little people said, we got some Kevin McAllister style booby traps for your ass. Mm-hmm. It's a wrong move to go in there. This is the same thing. Mm-hmm. And it's worse.
Not ready. Like the whole U.S. military tactics are just not the same going into there. It's just a whole different world going there. And to think of vowing potentially a military draft in 2026 is it's like you think, that's history, that's that's a very, very possible situation that could happen.
And my suggestion, who am I, but my suggestion is the 18 to 26 year olds that support MAGA. You want all the migrants gone. You want the immigrants gone. You want all of these people out of your country because you're such a nationalist. Great, go fight this war. If you're such a warmonger, go ahead and go out there and see what happens. Maybe then you'll change your mind, because sitting on your couch cheering on war, it's a lot different than you having a gun in your hand. And you having to actually put somebody down that you never met in your life. Yeah. That's reality. And a lot of times you need to be put into a reality situation for you to understand the importance of what's happening. So, I'm too old to get drafted. So I can sit here and say exactly what I want to say. But you guys that are, you guy with the red hats are big. You go first and let me know how it goes. So, till next week, stay safe, stay cool. Peace. I'll be back in 2027. Damn, Geno Smith. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Christ. We're out of here.